Have you tried every single productivity hack, time management method, and whatever guru advice out there, and you just realize I'm still frustrated, I'm still falling far behind, I am just destined to be stressed out because that's what business owners do. That is what being an entrepreneur means. That sucks. And 100% I was there, and it was nothing but hopelessness. But it wasn't until I got into my 40s that I finally cracked the code and was like, wow. So I want to talk about my story and tell you exactly how I did it. During the pandemic is when my business started booming. But I also had 2 twin toddlers at home. They were supposed to go into preschool, but that never happened. So cue trying to juggle everything all by myself. Now, why was I doing it by myself? I think like me and like many of you out there, you're doing it on your own. Maybe you feel I can do it so much better. There's nobody out there who can do it just like me. Or if it was like me, well, if I just do everything, it'll be cheaper. Because honestly, I was way undercharging for my services. So I couldn't even dream of hiring someone to help me. So I was like, it's just cheaper if I do it all on my own. Or maybe there is just some other anxiety or frustration that is attached to why we're doing it on our own. And yet we are just literally digging ourselves into a hole. And my thought is, like all of our thoughts, I should be able to do this by myself, but why can I not do it? So that was super frustrating. Why can't I get all my tasks done? And then when you have kids, especially young kids, it's constantly coming at you with stuff. Every time you're sitting down, you get into the task, but then it's like, mama, 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 mama. And you're like, and it's just, you realize I got nothing done. It's not their fault, but it's my fault for why I got nothing done. And I got so frustrated and irritated. I would go 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds. So irritated at everyone. And it wasn't until I stopped and thought, this sucks. I don't want to feel like this anymore. But I don't know how to change it. I didn't want to give up on my business. I wanted to do this. I felt like this was the path I wanted to be on, but I just couldn't have everything banging heads and butting up against each other and having this battle over, do I do work or do I take care of everybody? And even when I was with my family, I wasn't really there 100%. I was not present because work was always buzzing around me like one of those irritating mosquitoes. So I got help. I got the help of a business coach. That is where I started learning some mindset shifts, more in the business sphere. But I was also being introduced to time management, business organization, and productivity. So I started trying out all those traditional time management methods, but I was still finding myself not getting stuff done. And I was still in that area of, I'm doing this, so why is it not happening? So I was still in that constant cycle of frustration. So like all of us, we go and we vent to people. And I started saying, without even knowing it, I have a lot of energy during this time, and then I have a lull, and then I have another spurt of high energy. And I would always tell people kind of like in a joking way, like, oh yeah, like every time at 3 o'clock, I'm so tired. I just like feel like I have to take a nap. And I was talking about it, but I wasn't actually making the connection that might be my answer. I was forcing my productivity to just keep going. I was time blocking. I was using Eisenhower matrix and all these things, but it was this thing that I was talking about that maybe I was kind of aware, but I wasn't making the connection to maybe when I am most energetic and least energetic has some sort of connection to how productive I could be. And it wasn't until I started thinking, let's try only working during those energy peaks, that high energy time, and see what happens. I started doing that slowly. So it was becoming aware of my energy peaks and valleys, even when I was like unknowingly aware of it. Once I became consciously aware of these valleys and peaks, I started going, maybe if I set my schedule to my energy levels as I go through the day, maybe I might actually feel like getting stuff done. So I started planning my days around my energy levels. So I knew that baseline, I had a lot of energy between 8 and 12, sometimes, 8 and 1. And I thought, I'm just going to work. And when I start feeling tired, I'm going to stop working. I'm going to start the shutdown ritual and just stop working for the day. And then that's it. And holy moly, I can't even begin to tell you how amazing I felt. I wasn't forcing myself to do the shutdown ritual. I was actually getting there and being like, oh, I blew through my tasks. Like boom, boom, boom. Besides that, I was like, wow, okay, I feel good about closing this computer, cleaning up, taking the external hard drive off, putting it away, and just being done. And funny enough, it wasn't until our last trip to Japan in the summer, I came home and I was like, wait a minute. I actually have my dream schedule, which was I work for 3 to 4 hours, get the majority of my stuff done. And then after that, I have time for me. I go pick up the kids and I have time for them. And sometimes I'll take a nap in the energy valley, which is totally fine. I fit in a nap sometimes when I'm really low. But then in the evening between 4 to 7, I have another energy peak, and that is what is given to my family. And I wasn't thinking about work all the time. I wasn't thinking about, oh my God, I gotta get this task done. Oh my God, this thing get done, and this can, I went from to, And I'm like, oh, so knowing my daily energy levels was the key to being more productive and actually getting stuff done. If you are struggling, this is the advice I would give you. Listen to yourself. This is something I put in the forefront of my dance business. You know yourself the best. This is not something I came up with, but it is so true. You know your body. You know the fine details, its ticks, how it works, and all this other stuff. You know so much about it. But when it comes to setting our dream schedule and working in our business and just trying to balance it all, we really do leave ourselves out of time management. And we're trying to use all these methods thinking it's going to work. But the thing that we have that can really actually make a difference is ourselves and what we have for ourselves. And it just makes productivity so much easier. So if you are struggling, I highly suggest taking a few moments to really start getting in tune with your body and its signals. This goes across the board. This is not just for productivity. This is for medical stuff. This is for whatever you want to call it, intuition and things. If something is making you frustrated, if you start feeling exhausted, start looking inward. How is my body feeling? It's feeling very tired. Okay, well, why am I feeling tired? And always asking yourself, why? And using the signals that your body is giving you, because those really are the answers. And what I found is traditional time management methods are more like a Band-Aid for the gaping wound of procrastination. We can try all the methods in the world to better our productivity, but if we do not deep dive into the issue of why am I procrastinating and why is it so challenging to stop procrastinating, because sometimes it goes much deeper than I have a time management issue. So prioritizing mental health is so important if you are trying to figure out why you're procrastinating and why all these things you're trying are not working. So for me, prioritizing my mental health actually opened a lot of doors for me to get more productive. It wasn't just focusing on my energy. It was shifting a lot of very unproductive mindsets and having very hard conversations with myself and really taking a look in the mirror and being like, yeah. Let's find out why I'm doing that, because this just doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for my business, and it doesn't work for my family. So that's another thing with productivity. It's mental health also is tied into it, just like our physical health. So if there's something that's out of balance, really deep diving into what the root cause might be is so important. The key to productivity is not doing more. So when I was blocking off those 3 to 4 hours of high peak energy for tasks, I wasn't trying to jam as much in there as I could. That's our initial feeling. We want to get all done, do all the things, jam it. That's going to be your initial feeling, but you really have to take a breath, step back, and be like, okay, I really have to set boundaries. Boundaries are also very important. You really have to keep it to 3. Now, when I started, I was trying to jam a whole bunch in and it wasn't working, but because I was working on myself and getting to the root cause of my issues with productivity and procrastination and my mindset towards it, it was becoming easier to be like, that's not working. I was much more quickly realizing that's not working. I have to try something else. So really do pick 1 to 3 things. It took some time, but now I've gotten very good at planning. I've gotten very good at staying on task, and I've gotten very good at, not overstuffing my schedule. So like I said, productivity is a skill. It's a habit. And unfortunately, I wish it was so that there was a magic pill or some instant thing, some method that was magical and fantastical that just made you productive overnight. But unfortunately, there isn't. Productivity does take time. It takes a little trial and error to try to find what works for you. Trust me, it took me 4 years. 4 years to get it. And I don't want that for you. I want you to do it a lot sooner than 4 years. Usually new skills and new habits will form and become autopilot after 30 days. That sounds like a lot, but honestly, let's say you started working on your productivity at the beginning of March. It's the beginning of April. You would already be infinitely far ahead of where you last were, and you probably would be very close to autopilot with your productivity. So you always want to think, if I had started a month ago, look, a month is actually not that long. So that's where breaking the mindsets come in and instilling new ones and working with those until they become solidified in your mind. And also, when you turn 40, you really don't have any to give anymore. So that was last year. So I was 41, I'm 42 now. And turning 40, I don't know what it is. Turning 40, you really do start thinking, screw this. I don't want to do this anymore. This is a waste of my time. Why am I wasting my time, trying to get a square peg in a round hole? It's not working. It's time to do something different because I am just sick and tired of being this way. It's such a magical thing when you turn 40 And if you are younger than I am, take this as some really sage advice. Don't wait until you're 40 to not care. Oh, I don't want to say not care, but to just be like, I don't want to do this anymore. If I could go back and tell my younger self something, it would be this. Stop caring so much and just be like, I don't like what's happening. I need to do something to change it. And then get help and find out how you can change it for you. And don't give up, because it is going to work out. So that is my advice for you. Even if you are my age, fellow geriatric millennials, if you are a geriatric millennial like me, I want to give this advice to you. Maybe you are at that point where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like how my life is like. I don't like this path that I'm going down. I want my business to be super successful, but I am so sick and tired of sacrificing all my time and energy for this, and I have nothing left to give myself, let alone loved ones and friends and so on. This for me worked. Prioritizing my mental health, listening to my body, and this other thing that's very important, being okay with the uncomfortable. For me, doing tasks and not getting them done was so uncomfortable. I hate things being unfinished, which is why I don't stop movies and say I'm too tired, I'll watch them tomorrow, which I don't like it. It's like, oh no, must have ending, must have, the closure. I have to have closure. And when you prioritize your mental health, now, this is one of the most profound things I ever heard was, Jackie, you've got to be okay with the uncomfortable feelings when things are not done, when there is no closure. It is the most amazing thing that I tell everybody that has the same issues as I do. You have to be okay without the closure, and you have to be okay with that uncomfortable feeling that things are not done when you want them to be done. So take that. It is so important. So if this resonated with you, please be sure to like and subscribe so you get notifications, because I drop videos every single Friday at 12 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Hey, and where are all my geriatric millennials at? Comment below. Tell me what your favorite cartoon as a kid was in the comments. I'd love to know. Mine was Rainbow Bright. She is my hero. Yeah, I love Rainbow Bright. Tell me what yours is in the comments below, and I will see you next Friday.